Fit for Life Radio, episode number 213. Gary is here.
So am I. Will
is here.
Willis.
This week's episode, we're going to rank our favorite diet sodas, review them, so to
I
speak.
feel like everybody feels strongly about their soda choices.
And we're going to dive into week 3 of the programming at the gym, Coastal Strength and Fitness. Now, diet soda, I know there's going to be a contingency of people who just don't even want to hear it about diet soda. They're like, I only drink the real stuff.
Diet soda's bad for you.
Yeah, but for those of you that drink diet soda, you know, I've actually come to, and look, everything's an acquired taste, right? Like people that get so mad and upfront, it's like after you drink it for a while, you're going to get adjusted to
then
where
it's
now,
just like that's your normal.
Yeah, to where if I have a regular full-bodied soda, it's like way too
sweet.
It's just, you know, but then people who aren't used to artificial sweeteners, you know, don't like that.
It's a bad taste too.
So it's like, but no one likes beer the first time they have it, but they figure it out.
Coffee for a lot of people, same thing.
And even look, I love cocktails, right? As much as the next guy and girl.
Gal.
But bro, cocktails aren't as good as like a milkshake. You know what I'm saying? Like the
after effect.
Like and a cocktail without alcohol tastes better than the one with, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's not like, you know, the first taste of those things, anyone really loves them, right?
Nah.
But then you acquire taste, you appreciate the notes that they do bring to it, right? You then do appreciate the note alcohol brings to it, or the feeling.
The note.
But diet soda. So if you're a diet soda drinker, now let's narrow that down, nitpick.
I feel like most people fall into like either like Pepsi stuff or Coke stuff.
I don't even know anyone that likes Pepsi stuff.
I don't know if is Dr. Pepper Pepsi or is it its own thing?
I don't know what to look.
Because Dr. Pepper is like its own special case. Because people do love Dr. Pepper.
Right off the jump, you take 10 people, or you take 100 people, whatever. We'll do 10 for easier numbers. 9 are taking Coke.
You know what I've realized? Pepsi doesn't have the bite that a Coke product does.
Okay, I thought the best explanation I ever heard was, in this, I don't even know where I heard this, but like, was that Pepsi is made to win a taste test. But that would assume kind of the opposite of what you just said. That maybe it almost has more bite. It's like better for a sip, but then it's not as good. You know.
See, I don't think it does.
I haven't had one.
I haven't had one in a long time either.
You know what? You know what we need to do?
Taste test.
Taste test. Like maybe film a video.
Oh God.
And we kind of have them all hidden. You know.
Those are the best. Sipping through a straw.
Yeah. And the cameras on the other side.
Dude, have you seen the ones where like it's Diet Coke and it's just Diet Coke, but it's from the different places?
And then they have them pick what it is.
Like Chick-fil-A, this is one in a can.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's impressive.
So yeah, maybe we'll have to do that.
All right, let's get into what we're drinking.
Is Dr. Pepper its own?
I think it is. I always thought it was a Pepsi product, but I don't think it is. You tell me. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's Snapple.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You basically have, it looks like you got Coke, Pepsi, Coca-Cola Company, PepsiCo, and then it says Dr. Pepper Snapple Group. Keurig Green Mountain acquired Dr. Pepper Snapple Group, and it became Keurig Dr. Pepper.
Interesting. What a weird thing.
So
they do their thing, though.
All right. And if we go back, I guess we should have done some homework and looked for the episode, but we actually talk about some research reviews on diet soda and that whole argument. Like, ultimately, if you're drinking them in moderation, they're basically a net positive, especially for weight loss and health benefits, because the health benefits of losing the weight and that would outweigh anything. There's no negatives, again, in normal amounts. And then they even ran recently, there was a study done, diet soda against water. And the diet soda group lost more weight. And essentially, and we're, super summarizing here, but so then the theory is that it helps satisfy the sweet tooth, right? So the people who were having the diet soda were maybe less likely to then need to go eat some caloric sweet treat or caloric drink, right?
A little sweet treat.
And I know for me personally, it's funny when if I do go in a diet phase, I actually drink. I don't always drink diet sodas. I know, like my wife, she has them every day, right? I can go times where I don't have them for a while, but when I diet specifically,
Do you lean on them a lot more?
I lean on them because it's like I have a little more cravings, obviously, because my calories are down, and at the end of the day, after dinner, I'll have a diet soda, right, and it just kind of satisfies that sweet tooth. But dude, I'm the
Take the
type.
edge off.
I really just need the little cans. Because
Those little tiny ones?
For me, it's about those.
What are those, like 6 ounces?
Those first couple sips, man.
Uh-huh.
That is,
Well, that's when you get that, the bite, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it's good. But I don't think anything beats, the first sip of a, cold, crisp soda.
Yeah.
Where it just, God, it just gets you.
So let's talk through just what's out there, right? Which I guess we started with the big companies,
hitters,
and then let's eventually filter down to our personal top 3. So you have, like we said, Coke versus Pepsi are the big ones, and then you have these other ones, which maybe for example, this one I enjoy, like the Diet Canada Dry Ginger Ale. Who's that?
Diet Canada Dry. Mm-hmm. What about it? Who owns it?
Yeah,
I think Coke.
So,
but I don't know.
Another delineation I want to make is, for me personally, because I'm sensitive to caffeine, right? So I don't like to have it at night, even the amount in a soda. So I kind of have different. I'll end up getting bonus points for caffeine-free ones, because I can drink them at any time. So the ones like diet soda, the Sprites and whatnot are caffeine free. So that's one. But when we dive into
that's what I usually go with.
Favorites.
All right, so Canada Dry is owned by Keurig Dr Pepper.
So they're in that family. See, you were active.
They got hits though. They got hits.
All right, man. Even looking through this list now, I'm ready to crack some open. So you have, and for the most part, almost especially nowadays, every soda almost has a diet soda, right? So you're talking Mountain Dew, Coke, Pepsi, all of them.
I used to crush those when I was younger, but I don't think I've had one.
I haven't had one in a while, but I'll tell you what, I feel like off memory, the Mountain Dew Diet Mountain Dews, Mountain Dew Zeros, whatever they call them, are, especially then you start talking how they compare to the regulars. It'd be hard to tell them apart, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because the flavor's so strong,
Yeah. I don't know if I've had a Mountain Dew Zero or a Diet. Mm-hmm. But
now, before we get into this, and we did mention how now if I have a regular soda, it's almost too sweet. But is there some soda that you just, if you're gonna have it, it has to be the real thing, and you just treat it like a treat? Any that pops up on your head,
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if there's even a diet. But even if there was, I'd probably still drink the real thing, but cream soda. Mm-hmm. I'm just going for the real thing, dude.
Yeah, like a good... Dude, you know what
a glass bottle,
You know what I enjoy, and I'll get if I'm out, is when there's, homemade sodas. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Maybe I need to do a taste test of that versus regular soda, but...
You're a fan?
I normally enjoy those highly.
Homemade.
Also, when they have the little... Mexican Cokes in the glass
with
bottles.
The real sugar.
The real sugar.
I've never tasted it to know is there any difference? Everyone's like, oh, it's the best. I don't know.
I mean, to me, drinking it out of a glass, it's like beer, right?
Yeah,
it's better out of a glass.
That's gonna be better.
So, so if I'm gonna have, I'll grab one of those if I'm out with a meal or whatever. Outside of that, especially at home and all that, I'm normally going zero sugar. It's just so much. It's just a low hanging fruit, right?
Yeah, why not?
When people are still crushing like 5 sodas a day and they're
It's
struggling with it, and that's a priority, I'm like, well.
And then like, oh, well, diet soda's bad for you. Well,
switch to the
so is
zero.
crushing 5 sodas a day.
All right, so everything has one. All right, so let's. I mean, you have everything. I mean, you got your. See, this one's a sleeper one too.
What is it?
So we'll just go through the. Here's kind of like 20 of
Damn,
them.
20.
Just give people like, oh my gosh, that. You got Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew. So you know what? I'm partial to the psychology of the naming, and off the bat, I prefer ones that are like called zero versus diet.
Well, that it's different though.
It is. Well, then when you get
It's
Diet
like
Coke,
the amount of artificial sweetener I think is different diet versus zero.
Yeah.
But I think it's still the same sweetener. It's weird.
we'll have to look into that.
Cause you have Diet Coke and you have Coke Zero,
Yeah.
and they taste different.
And then some are just like Diet Mountain Dew. I don't know if there's a Mountain Dew Zero.
I don't think so.
Then you have these off, seasonal. Everyone's getting that seasonal trend. So like the Coke Zeros will have like orange vanilla.
I can't get into all that.
That one was gross.
They usually just taste real, like very artificially flavored.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan.
Then you have like your ginger ale, which I think is zero now, or one of the ginger ale brands is.
You got the right.
And then Pepsi, root beer, A&W root beer,
Root beer.
Fanta, orange, zero.
I made a joke to you about Fanta, but I got some Fanta Zeros like
no.
a few years back. Couldn't drink a lot of them though.
Yeah, I don't mind an orange one every now and then.
Yeah, but it was something I would want to drink often.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
7-Up. So here's a separate conversation, almost a separate podcast. This will be another good one. We got to do the video, man. 7-Up versus Sprite versus what's that new one?
Starry.
I got a case of the Starry. That's what triggered
What'd you
this.
think? Not good.
I had it before and I didn't think I preferred it, and then I just got it again after having not had it for a while, and
Was Sierra Mist better?
Yeah, from what I remember, yeah. Is that what they replaced it with? Yeah.
I haven't had it. I saw it and it
not
just
the
doesn't
same.
look appealing, so I never got it.
Then you have your Dr. Pepper. You have your Dr. Pepper Cherry.
Dr. Pepper has like a million flavors.
You have your Fresca.
Dang, I forgot about
The
Fresca.
Fresca, man. Which then gets into Squirt.
Squirt.
Squirt
You know
Zero.
all about that.
Hey,
Diego, man.
it's pretty good.
It is good. It's a grapefruit soda.
Some tequila, but yeah, so the Fresca's a citrus soda. Fresca.
Fresco.
Then you have, and then of course, Coke, Sunkissed.
Sunkist. That's what I got. I got Sunkist Zero, not Fanta. Anyways.
Got your Wild Cherry Pepsi.
Wild Cherry Pepsi never did it for me. But a Cherry Coke?
Your A&W cream soda.
Dude, that's it. That's me. All day.
Pepsi, yeah, Dr. Pepper. So, I mean, yeah, everything you can think of. Noun. Top 3.
We should start with our third. What's our number 3?
Let me gather myself.
I'm already ready, dude. I'm ready. I have a feeling what yours are. 2 of them are going to be normal. One of them is going to be real strange.
Okay.
What's your number 3?
Coke. Coke Zero.
Same. It's
Yeah.
good. Like if I want like a caffeinated soda, that's it. You can't beat it. But I don't like Diet
Yeah.
Coke though.
So I was going to have a breakfast soda.
Yeah,
That
Coke Zero.
man.
Yeah.
I would look forward to it every day.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
And then, what's your number 2?
It's gonna be funny if all 3 of ours are the same. Sprite Zero. Dude, something about a crisp Sprite.
My number 2 is the root beer.
Oh, A&W? There's a difference, man. A&W and like Barks and Mug are all very, very different root beers.
Yeah, I like the A&W.
That's what I go for.
And
It's the smoothest.
then your number 1.
Number 1. Canada Dry. Schweppes doesn't taste good.
Mine is
Seagram's is all right.
Mine's Sprite.
Sprite?
The ginger ale would be like in the top 5. I like to rotate it in from time to time. Also like a cherry Coke Zero from time to
Cherry
time.
Coke Zero. If I'm going to the movies and I want like a soda, I'm gonna get a cherry Coke. That's like the only place I ever drink it, and I go to the movies like 4 times a year, maybe tops.
I feel like there's one I'm missing that I normally rotate into.
You'll never remember it.
I mean, I don't. People are very love-hate. I don't mind a Dr. Pepper either.
The Dr. Pepper Zero or Diet or whatever, I've never really liked. I'm not sure what it is about it. Just never been good to me.
But yeah.
Regular Dr. Pepper, though, that's the jam.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, for me, the Coke, the root beer, the Sprite.
Dude, when we went to Florida, we were in Destin. Dude, it was hot. It was enjoyable, but it was freaking hot. And we went to like this pizza place, and we both got a Sprite. And to this day, it's the best Sprite I've ever had. And it was a fountain Sprite, right? They got the little like gun that they shoot it with. It was the best Sprite I've ever had in my entire life. We've been chasing that Sprite ever since.
Where was this again?
Destin, Florida. And it was just like this pizza place that was
it's
like...
got to be a fountain, right?
It was a fountain, but I've gotten fountains and they're not good. But that one, whatever, dude, the ratio was perfect. Maybe it was the hot day too, but I've been looking for it and I've been able to get the same high. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with the little taste test when they're testing the different...
They're different.
They're different, yeah.
Like Whitney swears by like Chick-fil-A drinks. Loves them. Because they just got a certain taste to them.
Everyone on this Reddit is hyping up the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Zero.
I never had Baja Blast Zero, but Baja Blast is the jam.
But you got to get it at Taco Bell and the fountain.
Dude, it's different depending on where you go and what the machine is. I swear.
Someone threw in a Pepsi Max.
No. No one even knows what that is.
It's definitely...
What's Pepsi Max?
I think it's like a higher caffeinated Pepsi. The consensus definitely is Sprite and Coke.
That would make sense, though. Pepsi Max. What's the difference, man?
Dude, some people are hyping up sparkling ice, any flavor.
Nah, I had them and they taste...
I know, they look like...
They're garbage.
I thought they were just waters.
They're flavored.
Like flavored water?
I think they're carbonated. That's it.
Oh. So are they like the waters that don't have any sweetener in them?
I think they have sweetener.
Okay, so they're like clear soda water?
They're not clear. They're colors. I tried one once. It was like a blackberry. And it's kind of like most like carbonated flavored water where it's like not quite enough flavor. But it's not, I don't know. I didn't think it was good.
Sunkiss, getting a decent amount of love.
It's pretty good. But I would just like want one. I wouldn't want to drink it every day for 2 weeks or anything like that.
Yeah. If you're listening, let us know your
favorites. That's the consensus.
Let us know if you want to see a taste test. What would we do? Let's map it out. I think...
Are we talking like different, like just 5 different sodas? Down the line, I got to pick which one's which?
Well,
that's easy.
Here's the thing. Like, we're going to tell the difference between different kinds and have preferences. I think it's like, it should be like a Pepsi, a Coke, and then you're tasting which one's your favorite, or you may even see if you can tell the difference and get it right and which one you actually like without knowing truly. Same thing with the citrus sodas. Like, what if we had a row of like the regular sodas, the citrus sodas?
Yeah, that could be good.
And what was the other? There's kind of another group there. That might be fun.
Do you mean by like the Sprites?
Like, yeah, the Sprites. Okay. The Sprite. What was it? There's like 3 of them, right?
Sprite, Starry, and 7-Up.
7-Up.
I always forget about 7-Up.
Yeah. So I already know the Starry, and I know in a taste test, I will recognize the Starry will not win. But
Is it like lemon lime?
I'm not sure about Sprite and 7-Up.
I think I could tell.
I think I could tell, but the more I think about it, and it's funny because I had Sprite as my number 1, but I wonder how I feel about Sprite versus 7-Up.
I don't think 7-Up is as good.
I don't know. I got
It's kind of just something that people put in mixed drinks. Like,
and then we could do like there's 2 or 3 root beer ones.
dude, I could discern pretty easy.
I think I could with the root beers, the ginger ales.
Ginger ales would be tougher, but I still think I could do it.
It'd be tough.
Yeah. There's a quality to soda, and I don't know how to describe it.
Hey,
but it's almost like
you can't touch the bottle. You gotta just.
Oh, that's fine.
You gotta reach and slurp.
That's fine. There's like it's not flatness, but in my brain, it's a flatness of flavor, and I can't describe it. That some sodas have. I don't know.
All right. So
Top 3.
Recap your top 3 again.
Top 3. Oh, Diet Coke, Sprite Zero.
Diet Coke.
Sorry.
Or Coke?
Let's strike that from the record. Coke Zero, Sprite Zero, Canada Dry Ginger Ale Zero.
And before we close this out, let's see this Coke Zero versus Diet Coke. Because again, there's a difference. We could actually throw those in there too.
Oh yeah.
Like
I think that would be harder.
Coke Zero, Pepsi Zero, and then Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi. The main difference between the two are the sweeteners used and the flavor. So Diet Coke is sweetened with aspartame, while Coke Zero contains acesulfame potassium.
Ace K.
Ace K.
I never heard of that as a sweetener.
And then, so Coke Zero is said to taste more like the original Coke, while Diet Coke has a lighter flavor. That makes,
It's flatter. I told you, dude. I don't know how to describe it. So, interesting. I didn't know that.
Diet Coke has 35% more caffeine than Coke Zero.
Really?
And Diet Coke was Coca-Cola's first sugar-free cola, released in 1983.
Cola. How do you feel about people calling it pop?
That's like a northern thing, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
Or they call every soda a Coke. Can you go get me a Coke? And it's just whatever you have.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it.
We don't
Gets under my skin.
do either.
Nah. Can I have whatever it is?
To me, like the way I feel about pop, it doesn't make me angry. It just makes me know where you're from.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds a little like silly, but I'm careful saying that because I know there's probably tons of things that Southern people say that sound silly.
Oh,
y'all.
There's a lot.
Nah, y'all's taking over, man.
Y'all's
a good word.
It just rolls off the tongue.
You can use it for a lot.
Y'all.
Yeah, that's the main difference. Y'all is the type of sweetener.
Ace K versus aspartame.
Let's see what people say. I know there's someone telling us Ace K is going to kill us.
Yeah. Ace K side effects. That's always done on mice, and they give them 10,000 Coke Zeros worth of the sweetener.
That's the thing people have to realize.
And they're like, oh, this is bad for you.
With anything, the dose makes the poison, right? And
always.
Like a perfect example. And then, people get hung up on like natural. Is it, natural? There's natural things.
That'll kill you.
Like snake venom is natural.
It'll mess you up.
But you don't want to drink it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas no one has died from drinking diet soda, right?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like any other.
Yeah, it's everything you'd see. Not a lot of potassium, though.
The biggest argument that, may eventually be is the effect on gut microbiome.
Seems to be the common one with artificial sweeteners. But it doesn't seem to be consistent person to person, but it can be
there's
disruptive.
Some studies where it's shown that it's helped the gut microbiome.
And that might just be depending on you, what it looks like.
The rest of your diet.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. All right.
Hither, tither.
Let us know yours. Let us know those grape soda zero fans. Is there? I'll drink it if there is one, and let you
They
know.
probably haven't even bothered.
Grape soda zero sugar. Oh man,
It's not good. Grape flavor is not good.
there's a Zevia.
Ew. Nah.
Here we go. Fanta Zero Grape.
Discontinue.
Hey, what? Bouncing all over the place, but we talk about like where you get the soda from, like out of the can, out of the bottle, out of the worst has to be out of a 2 liter, right?
Yeah,
That's
I
why-
think so. That's actually, I never thought about that, but I think you're right.
Just goes flat real easily.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll see it and I'm like, man, it's only $2 for all that soda.
Yeah, but after the first one you have, there it goes.
That first sip.
That
yeah.
first sip, and then it's all downhill.
Hey,
Flat.
that's what I would do. You get that Mark Cuban money.
Just take one sip out of a 2 liter and
Yeah,
toss it.
and toss it.
Oh, man, I'd do that.
Look, there's a Reddit. Why is there no diet or zero sugar grape soda?
Because nobody likes it. What do you mean?
I know some smart aleck had to have a funny comment on here.
Grape. Not doing grape.
Why does orange Sunkist contain caffeine, but grape Sunkist does not?
It really has caffeine?
Guess so.
I wouldn't expect, I guess
Us,
Mountain Dew does. I was going to say non-dark sodas, but that is weird. Surprising.
All right. What do we got this week? Exercise.
This week, nothing too wild this
Oh.
week.
One last thing. I don't know how I just thought of this. Have you watched the Receiver Netflix documentary?
Yeah.
Any?
Yeah.
You know the Amron St. Brown?
Yeah.
The receiver. And you know his dad was like a hot like bodybuilder back in the day, one of those like 70s bodybuilders. And all his bros.
Oh my God.
Did you see?
And he's so sure of himself.
Yeah.
The most confident man you've ever seen.
And look, dude's done, you know what I'm saying, like stuff that worked for him. But that's where the perfect example of like what works. Like genetics are like 90% of everything.
Oh my
right?
God.
So, and then, but he'll just, did you catch when Amron St. Brown had the hand, foot, mouth
Yeah.
during the season? And he's like blistered up, like in a game, feeling sick, like blisters that are opening on his feet. He's saying, you know, every step he can feel them popping. And mind you, this is hand, foot, mouth. That's also happening like in his mouth. He even wore like a ski mask. You know, the
Some
game,
people, yeah.
And then like when he's going in halftime, his dad was like, "Hey, tell him," or I guess the girlfriend was somehow talking to him, and he was like, "Tell him to drink a Coca-Cola during halftime, not Gatorade." He's like, you know, your coaches, they're going to try to give you Gatorade, but Coke is better for rehydrate. Something he just said something off the wall like that, you know?
And it's like,
he's
where'd you even pull that
trust, you know? And I was like, you're telling this dude with hand, foot, mouth disease, like open blisters,
To drink a Coke.
instead of a Gatorade.
That dude was wild.
He's like, it's
Like, it makes sense because the Amon St. Brown, what is his name? Amon Ra.
yeah.
It's kind of weird. But it makes sense because his dad is
And then you almost
who he is.
Here we are hating, but it's like this dude was a Olympia bodybuilder.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 of his 3 sons are in the NFL. So it's like, which is what he said, you know. And it's like,
Yeah.
but hey, look, and with exercise and anything, that's the thing, right? Like, and even us, we talk about some of this minutia, but again, think of like, you know, this jar with these big rocks, and like, again, like, really with anything in life, not just fitness, even if like you're going to be a model or anything, like 80% of everything is genetics.
Yep.
So that rock fills up all this stuff. Then you basically have hard work and consistency, right?
Yeah.
So if you're exercising hard and being consistent, that's going to fill out the rest. Then you have and the thing is, if you have the bad genetics, that's where the little stuff can make more difference. Like,
Yeah, you have to do more.
people with great genetics can just basically do anything and make progress, you know? And, you know, it's like yeah, you could have like a model and they're like, oh, use this, makeup and foundation, right?
And it's like,
And it's like, oh, everything. It doesn't matter what they do.
yeah, it doesn't even matter.
It's like,
or use this hair care product and they got the most perfect hair you've ever seen
Yeah.
genetically. And it's like, well, you could have washed your hair with a bar of soap and it probably looked good.
yeah. I mean, and when you start looking at pro sports, the Olympics just happened, right? Like, and obviously you tell like little kids, you whatever you put your mind to, you can do. Like,
Yeah, because you want them to have a good attitude.
No,
you want them to work hard.
If you're 6'7" versus 5'7", like one is you're more likely to be able to be an NBA player.
Yeah,
right?
like dude.
and one you're more likely to be a gymnast.
Yeah.
And it's not that like playing basketball makes you taller
Nah,
or playing gymnastics makes you shorter. It's that the people
who succeed,
the attributes that you need to be successful at certain things, those people normally find them, right?
Yep.
So people who build muscle easily find bodybuilding, right?
Yeah.
People with great hair find. Like look at the football players that do you think Troy Polamalu, do you think anyone could get a Head and Shoulders ad in the NFL? Or
No.
the dude with the best hair,
just
right?
the most luxurious hair ever.
So yeah, so that's interesting. But yeah, I would probably recommend against drinking Coca-Cola
Coke to rehydrate.
when you have hand, foot, mouth.
I remember having that as a kid. It wasn't fun.
Oh, you did?
It sucked.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's weird to get it as an adult.
I know,
right?
that is strange.
So yeah, summer shred part 3, week 3.
There's nothing too wild, like nothing drastically different. We can go over, some things to focus on. It's been going really well.
I mean, we've had the longer cardio days on Thursday. Again, and let's break it down. First time listening. Coastal Strength and Fitness, group training gym. We kind of have 3 buckets that we're trying to attack, which is people's strength resistance training, zone 2 cardio, and then HIIT, high intensity, trying to basically zone 5 cardio, like trying to touch that ceiling. Those are like, for health and fitness, like kind of like the 3 main
We got to hit all 3 points.
things that you want to do, right, over time. So they all have their benefits. I read a good thing recently, and it was talking about how if you're the short, and this is what we've always talked about, right? Because some people even have taken like almost like we've bashed cardio in the past, or like, but really when we've talked about it, or say like do this instead of this, it's like starting with minimum effective dose and how much time do you have, right? If you only have 2 hours a week, it's not best spent doing 2 hours
of cardio,
right? It's okay. We know there's this resistance training component that's unique. Other stuff can't replace it. You need to train close to failure in these specific kind of rep ranges with these movements that kind of cover all of our muscles and joints and ligaments. And so, yeah, you need to do resistance training. And then the thing is, well, you can also do resistance training in a fashion where, say, you do some antagonist supersets.
Yeah.
So you're alternating upper and lower body exercises, and maybe you're keeping your rest, 1 to 3 minutes. There's gonna be a cardiovascular component to that, So now, if you only had those 2 hours and you do resistance training, and do some of those parameters, you're going to get cardio benefit too.
Yeah.
So
it's the best bang for your buck for that little bit of time you have.
Exactly. And then from there, it's like, oh, you have another 2 hours. Well, again, for not bodybuilders and stuff, again, general fitness. Well, now, okay, you don't need another 2 hours of pure resistance training.
No. Let's layer in the other factors that are important.
Exactly. So let's look at, okay, we can get some HIIT in, but that doesn't take much time, and you don't want to do too much because it can be harder to recover from. So, now you got a 30-minute HIIT session in. Oh, and you still have an hour that you can dedicate to this. Cool. Now let's do some lower intensity zone 2 stuff, which is time consuming, and that's the only thing you're doing. But that's how you build it out. That's how you layer in your fitness, right? And that's what we do at our gym. So we have, hey, you come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in this program, you're getting your strength stuff.
Full body strength.
And at the same time, there's going to be some little finishers that get your heart rate up there.
Yeah, quick hit, get you up, and then
we also
done.
do supersets, right? So, and most people are resting between 1-2 minutes. So you're getting some zone 2 baked in with just those minimum days, right? But then for people who want, we have the whole Thursday as an entire 30-minute cardio session.
Just like a solid zone 2 is the goal.
Yeah, and some, depending on your fitness level, it might be higher.
Yeah, it might be higher than that zone 3, but that improves as you go anyways.
In the beginning, it's just move your body, right? Don't worry.
And get your heartbeat.
Yeah, don't worry about this stuff. Yeah, you may just do anything and your heart rate gets jacked up. That's fine. You're going to get in better shape. And then as you get in better shape, you can start nitpicking some of those details.
Yep.
But that's the overall, what we're trying to do. And it's important too, like the zone 2, lower intensity cardio can help you recover. It doesn't need as much recovery. So you don't just want to go hard all the time. You don't want to strength train 6-7 days a week. You don't want to do high intensity circuits in zone 5 6-7 days a week. You need to balance this stuff. So that's the benefit of having a gym or a trainer or someone write your programs that knows what they're doing, is that this stuff should all be built in. So moving into that week 3, similar to last week, working on some of those main lifts. Like we have the 5 lifts, or actually 6, so 2 a day between the strength days that you're tracking, you're progressing, they're going to be there. That's good to have every week, because the problem is if you're always changing everything all the time, what happens is, especially when it comes to building strength and building muscle, there's like kind of 2 phases. Like one is like the coordination in your brain and nervous system. Like
you get better at doing a movement.
Exactly, because of those gains.
Yep. So you're just fine tuning the movement, and your nervous system's like, man, I got more skill at doing this. And you're able to generally do more weight as you hone that. But that's not building muscle.
Yeah. But so ideally you want to get where that coordination and that skill is now like automatic, and then your body starts, okay, you don't have to think about those things, they automatically happen. And now the changes that are going to happen are going to be like actual
true adaptations,
muscle and bone type adaptations, right? But if you're always changing everything all the time, you're always going to be kind of a lot of times in that just coordination phase.
You get the coordination back, and by the time that you are comfortable, boom, there's something else going on.
So now again, we get the push back from that is, well, people can get bored easily, right? So they like to change things all the time. But again, you're to a certain degree, you're hurting your ability
to improve
for progress, right? So we try to again balance that.
Yeah, like we try to walk the line. So
there's 2 exercises and a 6, sometimes up to the whole phase, like the 3 phases in a quarter. So it could be 12 weeks. But again, there's massive benefits to that. And it would be foolish to not do that.
To not capitalize on it.
To change everything all the time, every workout. You're missing out on a lot.
And you can add variety, like the way we do through like our finishers. There's other variations we can do during the workouts.
Yeah, well, in the workout, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 exercises that stay the same week to week, but then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that will rotate through.
So it'd be different variations of like a horizontal, like a row. Like we might do 2 to 3 different variations through that 6 weeks on that as well. So then that gives us a little variety. And then when you layer that into 3-4 exercises, like that is a lot of variety. So it doesn't feel quite as, this is the same thing I've been doing for 12 weeks.
Yeah. So that's the thought process that goes behind that, right? And why sometimes, hey, we see these exercises, what's the point? And then same thing, some thought process on the cardio, like you'll notice in our Thursday, even our Saturdays, like you're going to see the air bike and the rower and the ski erg and the sled majority of the time. Now that's not because the goal here is cardio, so we just need to be moving, elevating our heart rate. We're not concerned with like specific like muscular adaptations or anything. No. But when you get cardiovascularly fatigued, it's going to make skill and focus not be at its best. So if you do a lot of, difficult highly technique-driven things, the risk
It's just way higher.
Screwing them up is way higher, right? And at the end of the day, we're trying to like improve our cardiovascular system, exercise it, not get hurt, not be able to
and
do
mitigate
nothing.
risk at the same time. You know, because we're not training pro athletes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's just people that want to feel good and not be in pain. So to do risky stuff when we don't have to,
Yeah.
it's just, for one, it's irresponsible and we don't need to do it. So that's why we don't.
So the way to that we bring in, okay, but also if people just did the exact same thing, again, there's benefits to that with cardio because it's easier to measure, like the progress you're making if you kind of have the exact same structure, but it's not as vital. So what we'll do is we'll kind of keep, that cyclical low technique stuff. Yeah, you'll see it often, but then we can play around with the parameters, right? So it could be, circuit of 5 things in a row, or 1 or 2 at a time, or AMREP, or different intervals. So we'll change that. So then your brain kind of has, different
It's a different feel.
approaches, so that it feels different. So that's the thought process and what goes behind most of the cardio driven workouts, right?
Yeah. And there's only so many things you can do for cardio that aren't high skill. So yeah, changing the overall structure is the way to add our variety in, and it works pretty well, I think. So
Yeah. And so again, it's always a battle, a give and take, a tug of war with entertainment. Because at the end of the day too, like we said, you got to be consistent, right? So if people can't find that balance that they want to come and show up, but also too, we want to make progress, right? We actually want to have real adaptions with our strength, with our cardio, and so it's finding that balance.
yeah.
And over the years we've tweaked and changed, but
And we probably always will.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And that's part of growth and getting better, especially in what we do, where it is groups and it's a lot of different types of people, people of different levels, and realizing what can we do to help all these people get better.
yeah.
So, yeah. Let me see if there's any big rocks we need to tackle. Nothing huge. I mean, one big thing on the Bulgarian deadlifts, just because it's it's a hinge, it's a single leg, is to really like hone in on making sure your hips are moving, because that is one where we see where people bend at like their lower back in order to get the dumbbell to go down farther. And sometimes it can be hard just to really work on the hips. So just in your brain, it is all hips. We're not breaking at the back to do this. It's just your butt going backwards. That's it, which is why it's such a good glute exercise. So just make sure you're thinking of that when you're doing those this week.
All right. There you have it.
That's it.
Any questions? Hit us up.
Holla.
Drop comments. Let us know.
Grab me in the gym.
All right. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.